Hi guys, this is Audra from rankindragon channel, and before I get busy starting my seeds and things like that I want to do this winter, I thought I'd show you a tour of some plants that I have around my house. Some of them that I have had in the past are gone to the plant graveyard, and others are new, and some I've had that around that I just hadn't shown you before. This one here is the one I'd like to start with. It is called a golden pothos. I've had this probably about 9 months. It seems to be doing very, very well. It does okay here in this window. These are like a plant that's just very hard to kill, which helps me a lot. It seems to do very good in this window here, and the reason why it does well is they don't take, I guess, a super lot of light, and we do have a lot of shade outside. But yet it does have enough to keep this plant doing well. And if you want to come up closer, I'll show you the variegation on this plant. This plant is beautiful, especially the part that I have here in the window. It's just the variegation is a lot brighter on this side, and you can just see it's just a beautiful mix, a marbleization of the green and the kind of yellowy white. And it's beautiful. I love this plant. They're so easy to propagate. You can trim them easily, or else they will grow all the way down to the floor. You can just trim them here, and when you do, just take some of these here and cut them off, and you can put them in soil and they will propagate and make new plants. They're very beautiful. And I love it. I just think it's very, very pretty. It stays so fluffy. I plan to probably keep mine short because I do like the bushy look here in the window. And plus, I don't want it like when somebody sits here at my kitchen table, I don't want it like hanging on their head. But that's kind of an incentive for me to keep it short. But it's very pretty and it does very well. And if you go to Diane Mumm videos, that's Diane M-U-M-M videos on YouTube, her channel. She has a video that she has done on how to easily propagate these, and I couldn't do that video better than she does as far as showing you how to do that. But I enjoy this plant a lot. This plant here is called a Lithops, our mimicry plant. These are a new plant to me, and I'm just learning with these. Kai's checking them out. And these have tricky watering requirements, so I really don't know that I'm going to be able to keep these guys, but they are very, very pretty. They look like a rock or a stone, and they, like I say, they need special water requirements. Certain times of the year you do not water them, certain times you do. So this is tricky for me, and I don't have a lot of hopes for these guys, but I'm hoping they do live. They're very unique. I was able to pot these up into this container by watching a video by a man who has a channel, and it's called Plants in Things, and it's P-L-A-N-T-Z, N, like the number or the letter N, and then Things. And his channel is very informative. He shows you about the lithops and how to put them together in a container like this. It's a very good channel, and I think that his video on lithops would point you in the right direction. This plant here was told to me that it's a Chinese evergreen. I'm not for sure if that's true or not. The Chinese evergreens that I had seen before, kind of the leaves resembled more of that golden pothos, but the variations on it, but this one was considered a Chinese evergreen, so it's a pretty big plant. It was really, really root bound, and I did have to repot it, and I have just repotted that, so I'm hoping that it will do okay after the repot, but we shall see. It does have really pretty variegations. The variegation on this is just, it's green with the little white stripe down the middle, and that's really, really pretty. I like the way that looks. And if it does take after a regular Chinese evergreen, then they shall do well in your house. This one I don't seem to have too much trouble with. It's relatively new this year, so I am not sure how that one's going to do. The pothos I've had for a while, and it's doing okay. This one is new this year, so I'm not for sure how this is going to do, but I really love the variation on that. This is a philodendron, and philodendrons are supposed to be fairly easy plants to take care of. It seems to be doing fine. It was in a tiny pot when I first got it. It seems to be doing just fine here. And these are supposed to be easy to propagate as well. I kind of like the golden pothos, so it seems to be doing fine. I don't have any problems with that one. This plant here is the plant that I've had the most difficulty with. This is my Christmas cactus. I had bought it before wintertime last year, and it was really big and bushy. It was a deep red color with flowers, and it was doing great. And then over time, just more branches kept falling off, and it just wasn't doing well. I had it upstairs in the on my plant stand under just one very, very small grow light, and it's just not enough light for this plant. Plus my watering habits, I'm still just having trouble. I don't know why I would have so much trouble with the Christmas cactus. You would think it'd be simple, but for me it's difficult. So had a little bit of difficulty with this one, so I put it in this window, and I'm just still trying a myriad of things to get this one going. Hopefully I can figure that one out soon. This here is something relatively new to me. This is a rabbit's foot fern, because if I pull this up here, it has these things that hang down over the pot. Kind of tip this up without spilling it. If you can see underneath here, see those things hanging out? These are supposed to be what resembles rabbit's feet. To me, they're kind of creepy because a rabbit's foot is a lot bigger. To me, they remind me of big tarantula legs, and I'm terrified of spiders, so it's not my favorite look. I do think it is neat. I think it's very unusual, so I love the plant, but it does a little bit creep me out, like it could just start walking across the room or something. And these you have to keep, it's like a typical fern, you have to keep them very wet. In the winter time, I will have to, this winter I will have to keep this misted. I will have to put a tray of pebbles with water underneath to keep that as moist as I possibly can. And they do die a little bit in the wintertime, and then they come back out in the fall. So right here, guys, this is my pineapple top. This is where I took the pineapple from the grocery store, twisted it off the top, grew it some stems, or not stems, but grew some roots in water, and put it in soil. This has been over a year now. This pineapple has not done much of anything. If you come down, this is about how tall it is, not much taller than it was. It's not doing anything, but it's not dying either. So I suppose we're doing okay, I guess, to see how it goes. It needs something. I have tried fertilizing it with not much difference. I have tried, you know, watering it more with not much difference. So I'm not for sure what it needs. It's just going to stay here permanently at this size, which is fine. It can stay here in my happy home until it dies or decides it wants to grow. And this is my Sansevieria. It's a regular Sansevieria, mother-in-law's tongue or snake plant. And that's kind of the regular color variation I believe they have on these. This little guy grows just fine. I had it in a bathroom for over a year, and it was doing just fine in there with very little light coming in a window. So and I decided to bring it here and see if we get a little more growth right here in the window. Let me see if I can show you this, if you're going to be able to see this here. Yeah, we can. This is brand new to me. This is an agave. I'm not sure. I've heard that these are easy to grow, but I'm going to try. My problem with succulents is a lot of times, even though I water sparingly, I overwater. So I've pretty much learned that for me, succulent has to just be dry to the bone before I can water it, and then it seems to be okay. This aloe is like my fourth aloe, and that's how I learned about my succulents. I just put too much water on my succulents. So this one's doing very good. I got this at a church picnic for 75 cents, so It's kind of a good bargain. I thought I'm not out much on my like 4th aloe, and we'll see how it goes. But it seems to have done okay, and we're just very, very, very strict with my watering habits on those succulents. This here I'm excited about. This is my pomelo. This pomelo is the one that I did a video on my pomelos. Please excuse my cruddy backyard that you're seeing out in front of our garage that we never use. But anyway, it's pretty skanky out there, I guess you could say, but right now, so I apologize. But anyway, try to view the plant and not the backyard. My window's probably dirty too, but I apologize. This is the pomelos that I grew from seed. My in-laws had brought me back some pomelos from Florida, and I went ahead and planted them, and it's doing well. I have 2 out of the 3. One ended up shriveling. I don't know why. I'm watering all the same time, but it didn't make it. But the other 2 are doing well. This here is what my little smiley face. This is what I had my boxwood basil in. My boxwood basil I loved. I did a video on with it in cooking. I loved it, and when I went on vacation, my mom had forgotten to come in here and water all the plants that I had in this window. And I thought I had watered all of them, but apparently the basil was wet when I had checked it, so I didn't water it. And it was pretty thick in there, and so it needed watered often, and I just didn't catch it. So by the time she got a hold of it, or by the time we actually got back, it was dried up. So I lost my boxwood basil, and I'm so sad, but I will try to find that again next year. And I put this little succulent here in it. I'm not sure what it's called. I was thinking somebody said elephant toes, but do not quote me on that, because I don't think that's right. But it's a little succulent. It's really fuzzy little leaves, and they're very, very sweet. I did have one fall off. Actually, here another one fell off. So this is pretty new to me. I'm not sure how this is going to do. We shall just see. This here is the other pomelo, and I love this. Try to grow these guys if you can find these. I don't know the grocery stores if they get them in, but if they do, you know, try to get the hold of those big pomelo grapefruits and grow those. These make beautiful little plants. And I know it's probably never going to get big enough to actually produce fruit, but I love the way it looks and it feels. It's just shiny. This here's something new, and I really, really like this guy. This is called it's a succulent too, so I'm going to have to be careful with my watering. And this is just, I got this just this summer, so this is really new to me. And this is what's called donkey's ears. It's called, if you can see, they have these big droopy donkey ears. So, and what they do is they produce babies here at the tip. They will make a new little plant here at the tip, and you can stick those into soil and make new ones off of it. So I'm hoping it'll get that size to where I'll be able to do that. That's just a cute little plant. I had never seen that before. I actually found it at Schnucks, and it was my most expensive plant. It was $9.95 or something, or $9.98, which is kind of crazy for me. I probably wouldn't have bought it, but it was so unique. I'd never seen it, never even heard of one, so I went ahead and got it. Even my rabbit's foot fern I had received at a garden center, and they were just getting rid of all their plants. It was under $5. So normally I try to stay as cheap as I can, because I'm not going to end up keeping them very long. Sometimes, until I get a handle on how to take care of my plants, but I think it's worth it. So wish me luck on this guy. And then this is my jade plant. It's a succulent. Now it's doing good. I don't know, I don't have too much trouble watering it. I think because it's so it's just the mix that I have on this one is has so many wood chips that I just really have a hard time figuring out when it's wet. So I just kind of let it go farther than normal, and I think that's what helps me, just not, you know, over watering that plant. And this here is my last plant that I've had for a while. It is my rubber tree, and it seems to be doing good. I have repotted it, and it seems to be doing okay in this window. And this window gets a lot more light, so somehow Might have to rearrange my room if I decide I want to bring a bunch of plants up here and see what we can do with this window here, because it gets a lot better light. It is the light for my bedroom, I believe, so I'm going to have to figure out something instead of the grow light on the other side. Thanks a lot for coming with me, and I hope to see you soon at our next video. Bye, guys.